Thank you, Jess. This is going to be something pretty special because qualifying was a bit of a form guide to what we see today. But how we left qualifying, Sean Cermony, is nothing what we're going to see right now.
No, absolutely, it's not. And it's funny, the way things happen is there's actually a bit of a story for qualifying. And if you see the way it's set up right now, sitting on the pole, that is Bill Hines. He's in the World Gym Australia. Chuck next to him is Sean Richardson. On down, we started with the slower guys in qualifying down to the fastest. You see all the way down there, you see Sarah Price, Toby Price together, Morris, Paul Morris, Robby Gordon. And all the way in the back, you see Sheldon Creed and Matthew Brabham, who've been battling head-to-head all year long, and are still battling for a points championship. So yes, the fastest went to the back, the slowest went to the front. However, there's normally points awarded for qualifying. Well, they couldn't do that. We didn't award points because the problem was they were getting so much air, so much hang time on the front stretch, they were jumping over the scoring loop. So they ended up going to another scoring loop farther down on the track. The drivers didn't know that that was actually happening. They thought they were being scored one spot when they were being scored another because they were getting too much air. So we went off of that. That's how we set up the grid for right now, but because of that, they did not award points. So this will be the first time points are awarded this weekend. So we're 3 races. We still have 2 more qualifying sessions throughout the weekend. He or she who has the most points at the end of the weekend is going to be crowned the champion here in the Gold Coast in Surfers Paradise.
Look how tight it looks at the grid here. You've got 3 sitting at the back there. Strategy play, perhaps, from Gordon, Creed and Brabham. Creed's truck looked awful today during practice, and I'm sure he agreed with that.
Yeah, it looked awful, but he was also said, you know, he was pushed a little bit. You know, he wanted to see where his boundaries were and stuff. He said last year passing here was not as simple as he had hoped it would be, and so he was pushing it, and that's exactly what happened. So now he thinks he kind of knows where he's at, and we are off and running, folks. This is going to be 5 laps wide open into a mandatory competition caution, then 4 laps to a checkered flag, and they are off and running.
And Bill Hines, like he did at Toronto early this year after another pole position, has just disappeared. He's left Sean Richardson and Craig Dontas to battle out for 2nd and 3rd position to head down to treacherous turn 4 for the first time.
Well, the World Gym driver, Bill Hines, he loves this track. Last year was the first time ever in Stadium Super Trucks he's ever led a lap. He led 3 laps last year. Now he's out in front again. Oh, trucks all kinds of sideways in the air as the pack goes wild off the Petters ramp. In the back, Matty Brabham, you saw him earlier today, Matt. He was flying front and really low. They made some changes to the suspension and things. We'll see if that makes a difference for him today.
That clip has lit up social media deluxe this afternoon here at Surfers Paradise. We moved the wall across to the inside of the circuit there through the Virgin Australia chicane side as they come down to the run alongside the beach. The sharp left-hander, but a Pennsylvania's own Bill Hines aboard the World Gym Australia entry will lead us down with UK-born Australian but living in America. If you can keep up with me, yeah. Sean Richardson.
Sean Richardson, Ironhead out there running very well. He had some problems in practice. He talked to Robby, he talked to myself, he talked to Sheldon Creed. What am I doing wrong on the jumps? And then we made some adjustments to the truck, so hopefully that's going to work out for him. And right now you're on board the Arctic Cat Wildcat 1000 KTM sponsored Toby Price. That's what you usually see Robby Gordon running. Oh, Price. Oh. He gets into Nolan pretty hard, moves Nolan out of the way, he makes it stick. This is Super Trucks, Nolan's used to the Utes. Some aggressive driving, but here, it's almost frowned upon if you pass somebody without hitting them.
Exactly.
So Nolan moves back a spot right there. You're on board with the Mingay colors, the Castrol Edge Hot Wheels Mingay truck of Robby Gordon, flying colors for Matt Mingay. One of our greatest buddies ever. He's not able to be in the truck yet, but he's here and he's cheering on his now teammate, Robby Gordon.
Oh, Craig Dontas is really applying the pressure, and he's got the job done. He takes PJ Jones with him, son of the legendary Parnelli Jones, former Indianapolis 500 winner. And here we go, Sean. This is what we expected. They're stacking up down here at turn 4.
Well, you know, PJ Jones starting off in the 5th position. Usually Jones is in the back. He's fast. For these guys starting all the way in the back of the pack that get a good chance to win this race, PJ Jones, I'm going to be surprised if we don't see him out in front within the next lap or so and starting to check out on the pack.
But Hines is doing a great job here. As we got a spinner as Richardson's gone again. It stacked the field up.
I believe it was Dontas in the Clipsal 500 truck drive straight through that chicane, blows it all out. Sean Richardson goes into a full-on mid-race freestyle expression there. So now we're going into, I believe they're going to go into a caution and set that back up to keep the speeds down on that jump. We try not to jump them over 70, 80 miles per hour. Here's the replay.
Oh, through it goes. He just nudged it, and he got the box set going through. He's moved him out of the way. Good thing they're not full of water, as they normally would be for roadworks. And Richardson, for the 2nd time today, has spun truck number 12. He'll go to the back.
Here we are on board right now with Bill Hines. Dantas. Nope, that is actually Sarah Price. Oh, we see Sean Richardson. I don't know if he got some help going around there or how that had happened.
That's Sarah Price on the inside.
Sarah Price, we're on board with Toby Price, no relation. Oh, no.
He clipped that barrier or just hit the brakes too hard?
I don't know exactly what happened there. I think he just made a mistake and ended up spinning around. So now, let me tell you how I think this is going to play out with race control and Cams and Jason Smith and USAC. We are supposed to have a mandatory competition caution after lap number 5. Now, however, you know, we've got a certain amount of time that this race is supposed to run. This may possibly be considered that mandatory comp caution, and time will tell here. And they were told in the drivers' meeting, those makeshift chicanes, those plastic barriers, if you hit those and take those out, not only are you getting a stop and go penalty, which should be awarded to Dantas, as we see right here, she's on board. And Sean Richardson, he just goes around all himself. Dantas blows straight, so a lot of carnage right there, but Dantas should be getting awarded a penalty for that.
It's the eyes of Bill Hines. So you wouldn't go for 2 cautions in this period now anyway?
I don't think they're going to. No, this is going to be a call that's going to be made from race control, and I don't think they will. You know, as long as they have the time to get all the laps in, possibly. But they're not going to cut laps in order to bunch the pack back up again. So it'll be interesting to see how Cams and USAC, who work so well together, what kind of decision they make here. Right there, really cool shot of these trucks.
Judging by the way turn 4 was going, then it doesn't need to be controlled again.
Yeah, absolutely. And like I was saying before, you know, they were told you're going to be penalized for hitting those plastic chicanes. Those are there to slow the trucks down and mainly for safety, so they're not wrecking trucks and so that we're not hurting an engine, a driver, what have you. They can't hit these 100 miles an hour. They hit them 70, 80 miles an hour. Look at the hang time they're getting just at those speeds, you know. So those barriers are there to control the safety of the race. And so when they move them out of the way like that, something has to give, and it's either you know, braking trucks or throwing a caution and fixing them. So they threw a caution, getting the track back together again. This is going to be a single file rolling restart here with Bill Hines in front. Looks like Greg Gardner, PJ Jones in P3, Paul the Dude Morris in P4, Sarah Price rounding out the top 5. And right now, Sheldon Creed, he's made his way up just a couple of spots. So Price hasn't made up too much. Brabham, though, has gone all the way from 12th position up to 6th right now. So impressive lap and a half.
He was hanging back there in the initial couple of laps. As they stack up behind Bill Hines, he got on the gas a little bit, leaving the final turn. The World Gym Australia entry, of which they're opening up a brand new facility here in Surfers Paradise.
So cool.
And Mike Niston, the owner, is here this weekend once again, a guy that you and I certainly wouldn't mess with.
Oh, Big Mike, he's a bad man.
He's huge.
Good dude, real good dude, but he gave us a tour of the new gym, and it's going to be awesome. Yeah, here we are, and running around. Bill Hines still out front, like I said. He loves this track. He loves this circuit. Only place he had led last year, and now he is back on the lead again. Oh, Greg Gardner, Smiley goes to the inside. Hines skips the curve there. Might get a penalty, that one, for Bill Hines skipping the curve. Greg Gardner out in front. PJ Jones diving into P2. Makes a clean pass. Bill Hines goes wide right there.
It's Price. It's Price, and that's the other Price of
Price
Toby
right. Toby Price says the price is wrong, Siri. You just spun out in front of me and jacked up the whole program.
How do I know you were going to say that?
As there you see, Matthew Brabham's got his hood all pushed up on his blue Traxxas truck. So he is making it through the pack quickly as they're spread out right away due to Sarah Price spinning out there. I don't know if she had any assistance there or not, or if she spun out all on her own. And there is Toby Price, parts falling off his truck from that contact back there with Sarah Price earlier. Sheldon Creed makes easy, slick work right there of Bill Hines.
Slicing his way through the field. So this is how it happened down the bottom. Watch mid-pack. Dantas, Hines, and that was Sarah Price spinning around. Toby Price nowhere to go. Ditto that for Robby Gordon.
Oh, boy. So a mistake on her own there. You don't see that very often, Sarah. Not a lot of seat time in these trucks. So we're on board, looking at Robby Gordon and just nowhere to go.
That's a sudden stop.
I'm sure if we stayed on that a little bit longer, you would have seen at least some hand gestures from Robby Gordon.
Oh, Dantas just scattering the fans who are right up close and personal with the fence.
Dantas all over the place out here in his debut in Stadium Super Trucks. These are not like any other vehicle, and Greg Gardner will tell you that. He's raced with us now 5-6 times, And he'll tell you, these are a handful to race right there. And so pretty violent landing there for Greg Smiley Gardner. Now you see the hood coming up on the Castrol Edge Hot Wheels truck of Matt Mingay, piloted today by Robby Gordon. It's Robby Gordon getting sucked into an accident back there. Still a lot of race left to go. Get through the pack right now. He's right behind Toby Price. Toby Price goes to the inside of Bill Hines. Can he make it stick? Follows the boss right behind him. Two get by Hines. Hines drops back in the World Gym truck. So right now, Toby Price, Robby Gordon moving up through the pack right now. So doing quite well. Paul Morris has dropped all the way back to 12th position. Gardner out front, Jones, Creed as the last time they were over the timing loop.
So Gordon's just allowing Price to be the truck mover at the moment, as now he gets out of shape, and this will allow Gordon to go down the inside now, you'd think, side by side in the usual colours that Matt Mingay would drive. Matty's here this weekend watching on. The man who had success here in Indy cars back in the day moves up another position and now sets sail for the leading guys.
Right now, and you know, Robby Gordon, he's doing everything he can. Oh, and we got Dantas pulling. Dantas, I don't know, maybe has truck problems. He probably had to have that hood ripped off so that he could see where he's going. He's still got a handful of laps to go, and that's a long ways to go when you got that hood up in front of you. Confirming
there will be no competition caution. We've now had that, so it's a run home from this point, and there is the Bonnet off the Clipsal 500 sponsored truck, of which Craig's got a lot to do with the organising side.
Absolutely. Craig, Nathan Kaiser, all these guys, a lot to do with super trucks, a lot to do with that race in Adelaide as well. Here is the replay. Right now you see Toby Price, look at that truck work. Dantas goes way to the outside, says, I'm not hitting that Toyo Tires jump right now. I can't see where I'm going. Robby Gordon as well, landing behind him. Now, it's funny, every year here, we have 3 races, and every year on race number 1, these guys just tear the trucks apart. I think they're just so wound up being here in Surfers and having to wait all day, being the last one out. You know, Saturday and Sunday, be racing just before V8 Supercar, but waiting all day long, these guys are going crazy in the paddock. They just want to get out and drive, and then they get out here and just tear these trucks to pieces.
Greg Gardner is going to have a big welcome to Stadium Super Trucks. We know he's raced before, but Sheldon Creed, who has 10 race wins to his name, is not going to let this one go by easy, as Gardner goes wide for the second time, and Creed will have a better run down to this left-hander.
Oh, it looks like we might be getting into lap traffic right there. Creed makes it happen. Paul Morris definitely has a broken truck because the dude runs up front. That's the way that is, so he's got to have a broken truck. He's just out there running for points right now.
Replay further back. This is Richardson and Sarah Price. Oh. Spinning pretty much back into the pit area there, just graces against the Queensland tyre barrier.
We see again right now, not touching Richardson, I don't think. Getting on the binders a little hard. Richardson get through nice and clean. Sarah starts to spin out right there. Luckily, it's a tire wall, not a concrete wall right there. Sarah running it pretty hard here this afternoon. You know, like I said, the young woman, she doesn't have a ton of time in these trucks, and she is going to be a superstar in Stadium Super Trucks, just like she has in everything else she's done on the 2 wheels and the side-by-sides and everything. But it's just going to take a little bit of seat time to get used to these street courses.
More known for her expertise in motocross, former factory KTM racer back in the days. And now aboard a Stadium Super Truck. Through they come now, lap 7 of 10. Paul Morris just pulls to the side. Stay on board with Toby Price, as the skin just starts to peel away from Robby Gordon's number 2. Spent some time walking the track with him this morning. He's very, very happy with the way this series is going. And he just says the quality of the Australian guys is just about perfect right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of good talent here. And sadly enough, this race right now, with the dude being with a broken truck, different things, it's not showing it, but a lot of great talent. And when we first started here 2 years ago in Adelaide, the Australian drivers, you know, it was new to them. Now they're catching on and figuring out how to run these trucks. I mean, look at Toby Price right now, running it hard with the boss man. We've got a lot of great super truck talent here, not from just the States, but from Australia as well now. And what great action it makes. It's right now wide open down that section. Robby Gordon, the Castrol Edge Hot Wheels truck, his hood pushed up over the driver's side. Right now, it's definitely slowing him up because Price is trying to put a move on him, goes to the inside, can't make it stick, so they are back and forth. Great battle for these two drivers as they are going back and forth right now.
It doesn't matter who it is. Price is just uncompromising in the way he races. He took this like a duck to water. His dad, John, was an off-road buggy champion in this part of the world. He won Dakar this year, and he's doing great things in the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks on the back of a guy who created this series 3 seasons ago.
And look at them, 2 of them back and forth. Robby Gordon might be thinking right now, you know what, I've helped Toby Price out maybe too much.
Yeah.
Just too much, because now I can't shake the guy.
Yep.
So, it's no secret that, anything Toby Price is racing, he's going to do a great job at it. It just takes a matter of time to figure it out. And right now, it's proving that as we're on board right now with Robby Gordon, right behind him, Toby Price. Great race for these two. So we got Hot Wheels and Articat back and forth. Castrol, Edge, and KTM battling back and forth for these two guys. Great battle thus far.
Down to the hairpin. Creed has got a good margin, only 5 seconds as Bill Hines gets some serious airtime. He caught up with his old mate Alex Premer during the week.
Yeah.
At the Norwell Motorplex.
If he hits that any faster, he's going to land right on top of the location of the New World Gym, right downtown here. There's some big air for Bill Hines.
Bit of banter going on between he and Paul Morris. Morris posted a picture this morning of the new site being built saying, "Can't find you, Bill Hines."
Constantly. These guys do enjoy messing with each other nonstop. If you come over to the paddock and just kind of listen in a little bit, the banter never ends with these guys.
It's incredible. Down into the section that brings you off the beach. We're on board with Toby Price. That's your leaderboard. 5 seconds, better part of 6 between Creed and PJ Jones, and Matt Brabham up to 3rd place from the back of the field. And this battle between Gordon and Price in the closing stages of race 1 of the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks presented by Traxxas here at Surfers Paradise.
I've got to think that hood being up in front of Robby Gordon is not helping anything. Toby Price goes around all on his own. He is not going to be happy with that. What a great effort he was putting in there. And if anything, he was learning a lot. Learning a lot from watching the commander-in-chief of SST right there, staying behind him, picking lines out around the truck. So hopefully he'll use that as a learning experience and leave here today saying, hey, you know what? I'm going to be faster tomorrow than I was today.
Absolutely. Down to 1. Look at Brabham pushing PJ Jones to the limit. The man who's brought up in the suburbs of Torrance, California. That's a tough part of the world to grow up in.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. And 2 open-wheel guys here, in these Stadium Super Trucks. Sheldon Creed out in front. He's more of an off-road guy. These 2 guys had a very similar upbringing. Matty Brabham, all kinds of sideways, gets into the fence. Real hard right there.
That same spot where Dontas did the same thing. The fans against the fence, they might be going, we might just stand 4 or 5 foot back now.
Keep us up a couple steps back right there. Get more than you bargained for.
Wow.
As you see right now, PJ Jones still looking good. Matty Brabham is not giving up. I thought the way Brabham hit that wall, being a concrete wall, that he might have broke something in the truck, but that wasn't the case. So right now, good battle right here. Sarah Price, Bill Hines, they are teammates. Not identical trucks this weekend, but they are United Fiber and Data teammates. Still this weekend, along with Paul the Dude Morris. All 3 of them racing under the UFD tent.
Matt Nolan
get through the chicane.
So Nolan's behind these guys. 3 abreast going across the top here. 2 laps to go here at Surfers Paradise. As Hines, who started from pole position, is now in 7th. Sarah Price in the 2nd of the Super Cheap Auto Trucks is now the dude gets alongside to let the teammates go through. Good driving, goes down the escape road and lets him get on with the race.
Yep, Paul, it looked like dude was trying to get back up on the gas again there with his broken truck. You saw smoke coming off those DOT Toyo tires there. And he said, you know what, I'm just going to pull in off the runoff here, let my teammates through. Bill Hines, World Gym, right there. Sarah Price right behind him. Super Cheap Auto backing Sarah Price here this weekend at Surfers Paradise. And there's Greg Gardner. RT batteries right there. Gardner getting a little sideways here. Remember last year, Gardner 2-wheeled off one of the ramps, flew right into the wall. Wild ride for him, as it was in Olympic Park last year also. Sheldon Creed all alone. Just keeps it out of the wall. He's that far out in front, but he just won't lift. You see Creed right now.
Don's just following him around. He's actually a couple of laps down now, so that's the gap now, 1st to 2nd.
That's a big gap, but we don't see that hardly ever in Stadium Super Truck racing. Anything more than about a second and a half is absolutely huge. But Dontas being smart, he's a race car driver. We see him in the Utes. He does well. He competes with the best in the class. But right now, I think he's doing the smartest thing he can. He doesn't have to worry about 2nd place behind him. He's not holding up the pack. But what he is doing is going to school. And I hope he brought a pad and a pencil right now, because he's taking notes from the best in the business. Stadium Super Trucks as Sheldon, the showstopper Creed, takes a checkered flag in race number 1 here in Surfers Paradise.
11th win of the season for him. It's not over here for 2nd and 3rd as they come through. Brabham trying something here at the closing stages. Finds the wall. And PJ Jones will get second here. A wild finish.
Brabham here in his hometown in Surfers. He said he was going to be pushing it. Had a lot of family, a lot of friends here, and he wasn't lying. Matty Brabs really getting to it, having a great battle there with PJ Jones. What a wild ride.
The 19-year-old chalks up another win. He turned 19 recently and celebrates in style and kicks off the final Australian round of the Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks with a win here. Here's the replay, second to third. Watch the Traxxas truck, 83 in the background. He's got the back of PJ Jones, and that sent him towards the wall.
Doing everything. The wall was there to help him out. Without the wall, I don't believe he would have collected it, and I'm not taking anything from Matty Brabham and his ability to drive that truck. But that wall helped right there, kept him spinning around one more time. Wild ride for Matty Brabham.
I think Jason Smith is going to need a lay down, our man from USAC, watching that from race control. But Sheldon Creed, it was one of the biggest margins, if not the biggest margin, in Speed Energy Stadium Super Trucks history. 12 seconds between he and PJ Jones. Matt Brabham, third. Greg Gardner was fourth, his best result ever in the series. Robby Gordon was next. Toby Price in sixth. Then Richardson, Bill Hines, Sarah Price, and Matt Nolan on his debut this weekend. Dontis with the hood missing off the front of the 45 truck, and Paul Morris with issues aboard the Super Cheap Auto